Good morning, everybody. What's the name of the Dream song that was being played in the background when Rishi got pissed on in the rain and that Tony Blair used? What was the name of it? Come on, guys, quickly. Hit me up. I want that song because changes, change the rain, things are changing, change, changing. Things are changing. Things can only get better. Oh God. Anyway, for any label, look, rather than there being a po-faced, tight-lipped, we've talked lots and lots about our situation politically. For those of you who are pleased that you voted, you exercised your democratic right, you voted for Labour, and you're pleased with who you got, good on you. Well done. David Bowie's Changes. Yeah, that's not the song I was looking for, but that's the one I wanted to go for. That's a much preferable changes. Give change, the word change, that upward lilt.
If I hear that bloody word one more time, like you keep saying you hate it.
I do hate
this
it.
This household doesn't go 5 minutes without you saying it.
Okay, I'll change. Change your pants. Mom, change your socks.
Don't keep saying it.
Change your wife. Unless you've had your head buried in a hole and or in a cupboard, which Nadia was yesterday, you may not have noticed, or you may have noticed that we have a new Prime Minister, Keir Starmer, and the front of all the papers has wondrous photographs of him and his dear wife wandering up the streets of 10 Downing Street. Mark Keir's doing his first. I can't bear to watch him do his first cabinet meeting. Sorry. It's really weird with Keir. We've said it before. I really hope we see some. I don't mean personality when I say this, like he has to be a big personality. I get it. You can have safe and you can have workmanlike and you can have boring, but I don't even see. It's like he's, I don't know, either stoned or stunned or something. I hate to use the word, but it's like he's changed. So yeah, I don't know if I can, Reese. I don't know if I can watch him. So we're going to be talking about that, obviously, the front of the papers. Let's pop them up now. Let's go through it. So what have we got? The front of the Guardian. There we go. We will fight every day until you believe again. I wanted to ask a quick question, guys. Do you, because it's only you and us here right now, do you, when politicians say things like, we're going to listen to the people and we're going to put real people, working people first, do these words, do these jumbles of kind of platitudes, do they go in? And do they hit a point where you go, oh wow, that's really spoken to me? You know, when they this stuff, we're going to listen, we're going to represent, we're going to make things better. If every single politician since time immemorial has claimed they're going to make things better, but does it touch you? Do you believe it? Do you buy it? It's not that the words themselves don't mean anything, but the delivery is the same. And like Nadia said earlier today, they don't even sort of give us the grace or give us the respect of trying to talk to us differently. Do you know what I mean? The political language has no specificity. And I do think this is a problem for many people and politicians. And unfortunately, it feels like the right wing or have harnessed the idea that there's a disconnect between this bureaucratic, non-specific stuff and being a human being. And I think, it's about the left kind of picking up the kind of ability to kind of talk. They lie, essentially, Linda Holmes. Exactly. They lie with platitudes. They lie through platitudes. And I think Corbyn is an example. He's not, I mean, like Nadia said, his moment of excitement was incredibly muted. He's not one for hyperbole. He's not one for extraordinary shows of emotion.
Him basically exploding with
joy. Him exploding with joy was him sort of standing up, adjusting his very straight tie and kind of just saying, I'd like to thank everyone very much for, that's it. Shazia Ali, the only positive I can take from this election is Jeremy Corbyn. Well, let's push on through I just find it odd that there's been no attempt to change the It's like I listened to Rachel Reeves. I literally felt like I had a didgeridoo in my ear for 10 minutes. Keir Starmer. I'm not going to say the C word, and I'm worried what they're going to do. which the Tories kind of did. They're going to bore us into submission. I'm worried they're just going to literally break our souls. Can't bear it anymore. Okay, so that's the front of the Guardian. So give him his moment. There he is, charging along. Let us be gracious in defeat, says the Daily Express. That's good. Yes, be gracious in defeat. Absolutely. Give him a chance. Give him a chance. The work, I hate certain ads, it's in the headlines. The work of change begins, says the front of the Times. There they are, standing on the doorstep. Now we begin, says the Daily Mirror. New Prime Minister pledges to rebuild Britain brick by brick. I always remember an old teacher of mine once saying, when you move around the country, just think of this detail. Every brick you see has been laid or lain by a hand, a human hand. You think, fucking hell, that's quite something, isn't it? Anyway, so sorry, brick by brick. Daily Mail. Now he has to deliver in red. On the steps of number 10, Starmer vows to rebuild Britain with the NHS back on its feet, wealth created in every community, secure borders, safer streets, but after winning a loveless landslide on just 34% of the vote. A little bit kind of, just let him have his moment. Let him have his moment. I mean, it isn't a huge majority, is it? Let's face it. It isn't a huge percentage. Our system really is fucked. It really is. He's got the same percentage of support as the far right have got in France. And if you're looking at the election process in France, there's a lot of excitement that the combined forces of the 58% of other parties can make sure that the far right don't get in. And so lots of people with the French election are going, the far right haven't got enough of the electorate to support it. We've got to be careful that we don't pick and choose where it's applicable and not applicable. The far right have only got 33% of the vote in France. Therefore, it doesn't represent. Labour have got 34% here, so be careful. Front of the Financial Times, the work of change begins today. Starmer tells UK politics can be a force for good, as long as you don't bore us to death. Yeah, absolutely. Front of the Daily Star, will switch to 5 at the back and play Jude as a number 10. Starmer gets to work doing important stuff. I think there could be and what's the last one? Daily Telegraph, Streeting, that's the new health secretary. NHS is broken. Even that line. Yeah, we know that. So come on, tell us something new. Get on with it. They're going to have to move fast. Let's give them a chance. They've got to have a chance, and let's just hope it moves in the right direction. I have posted something on my Instagram about what I believe if Keir Starmer could do the 2 things I've suggested in my Instagram post, if he could do those 2 things, I would then potentially get on board a little bit with this word that he keeps bandying around that begins with C and ends in E. Do you know what I mean? So I think, again, actions speak louder than words. Digging into the papers, here's some of the photos. This is the Daily Mail. I always find the Daily Mail really curious. They're so po-faced, aren't they? The flag-waving activists in deliberate echo of Blair in 1997. There's a bunch of people celebrating a Labour Prime Minister coming in. Of course there are going to be fucking echoes of Blair, you morons. He's got to walk down the same road. He's going to have people saying, well done. And there's kind of only a few flags you can wave. I do find this flag-waving activists in deliberate echo of Blair in 1997. Good God forbid. God forbid, deliberate echo. So we've gone into the middle. I've shown you that. Sorry, the Daily Telegraph. This is interesting. So I do like Matthew Wright. Does anyone else like Matthew Wright? I would urge you, have a listen to his LBC radio show. I don't know if it's on Sunday too. I listened to it on a Saturday. He's very good. And I'll tell you what I like about him. He comes at topics, obviously from an informed position. And it's not that he's easily persuaded, but he listens to arguments and he listens to points of view. And he's not afraid to share in doubts that might be created in his preformed thoughts on something. Do you know what I mean? He'll hear something, go, oh God, I hadn't thought of it like that. Or, oh wow, that's a different angle on it. I like that. I like that in any kind of journalist. I think journalists or pundits who are fixed in their sort of take on things. Yeah, you see them on telly because they're going to say one thing. I think flexibility in thought is something we all need to embrace and cherish. Jess Phillips, yeah, well, tricky one for Jess Phillips, because this was hers was the name I was clutching for the other day. Of have you got a Labour politician who has kind of essentially tried to do the right thing from within the Labour Party? She has. She's still been punished. I think a majority went down to just 600 or 500 votes or something like that. She talked about the hostility, the anger. I mean, I think obviously the right-wing press are trying to characterize any opposition to anyone from the Gazan side of things or the Palestinian side of things as irrational, as angry, as savage. Even Lord Finkelstein on Question Time last night tried to characterize the pro-Gaza vote, if you like, in Parliament as it's not really something we need to think about because it's a Muslim concern. That was kind of what he was inferring. Whereas a number of you have already said underneath the post I've put on Instagram, it's actually a humanity concern, actually. I think what a lot of politicians and a lot of people either aren't getting or are just, steadfastly refusing to acknowledge is that people see in this Gazan, Palestinian, Israel catastrophe a humanitarian and a moral dilemma. I don't think they're affording the public and those who are in opposition the kind of sophistication. But this is interesting. The pro-Gaza MPs become the sixth largest party, essentially. 5 independents who essentially are championing Palestine, one of them being Corbyn. It's the same number of MPs that Reform have got. It's one more than the Green Party has got. So, I think this is good because I think the Green Party likewise are very pro. I don't like this pro-Gaza or pro-Palestine. It's pro-humanity. It's anti-genocide. It's anti-state terrorism. It's anti-terrorism. Come on, guys. Do you know what I mean? So I think it's interesting to note that we've got, and a number of the papers talking about the fact that pro-Gaza MPs become essentially the sixth largest party, if you like, if you group them all together. There they are, walking in through the doors of 10 Downing Street. I don't know if Keir Starmer's sort of looking there, kind of. I don't know what again. I don't know. I just see. I see a teddy bear's face. I tell you who I see. Hang on. I see Five Nights at Freddy's. Sorry, go on, Nads. Head on over.
It's just that Angela Rayner, I know we're really
Nads incoming.
I know we're really disappointed in Angela Rayner because it seems to be, though, of course, we don't know categorically that she's also had money from the Israel lobby. But she is not only Deputy Prime Minister, she's also in charge of social housing. And that she's really strong on all that stuff. Yeah. I mean, she came on this woman. I really, really liked Angela Rayner. It's just the Gaza thing that messed it up for me with her. So I'm going to try and be hopeful. Let's see if
absolutely.
They get some housing and all that sort of stuff sorted out, and social care.
Yeah. I mean, there are so many things that
because I think she might be able to beat him up a bit.
I hope so. I mean, we've said it so many times. It's not like I've never so wanted Labour to get in, but never felt so unable to vote for them, based principally on something that is not, for many who think it's simply a Gazan problem. Which it is but even as just simply a Gazan problem, it's a fucking massive fucking problem. We're watching the most appalling atrocities, and we're justifying, and we're appeasing, and we're allowing. So
excuse me, and
taking part, exactly. So do check out my Instagram post. I'm not going to go on about it here. They're heading in. This is the Prime Minister's top priorities. He's already struck something off the list, which is good. Though I do worry that he was talking about still processing asylum seekers in foreign countries. I think the big question mark, do you agree, Michu? I think the challenge here is going to be, let's see how much Starmer deviates from established policies. I mean, Rachel Reeves was very specific that they're going to stick by their manifesto pledges and promises. They're going to try and play it straight, play it with a straight bat, but it's going to be interesting to see. Let's just see if we can do a bit of a checklist. I think if there is a checklist, I would have added, though it's not on there, I would have added I would have put there a 2-state solution without qualification to the Palestinian-Israel crisis. So it would have been nice to have seen that, or at the very least, to ensure that the constant illegal settlement activity and violence that is ongoing all the time is given the same priority by the government and called out in the same way that October the 7th was. That would be good. That would be good. But there's his list. NHS strikes, global conflict. I suppose you could that's a sort of, it'll be in there when it's small boats, legal migration, high energy bills, crime epidemic, swamped prisons, dental deserts, housing crisis. Gaza stance, lost Labour seats. Yeah, we've talked about that. Starmer needs to show his personality quickly. I thought this was a curious one because this is actually coming from, who said this? Let me find him. This is David Blunkett. He was formerly in the Blair cabinet. I know what he means. This isn't about, I don't want, like we've all said, we don't want personality for personality's sake. We saw what happened with Boris. You don't want that. But equally, I think we have to, the thing that we talked a lot about in COVID, all of us here, is we need to see the human. And there's a part of Starmer that doesn't feel human, and that's different to personality. It's like he has to be human, and I just worry that he just goes into a sort of brown study or a pause or a sort of vacancy whenever anything difficult is thrown his way. But yeah, anyway, he wants. I know what he's saying, though. I do less about his personality. I do think what is true is this: the electorate will want to see real change. Oh God! And it's not me; it's the Independent, Guardian, and soon. You're right. Sunak didn't feel human either. No, you're absolutely right. It's a look. It's not a. It's a generic problem. Angela Rayner seems human. It can be done. It can be done. Ed Davey, human. Whether you like him or loathe him, and I can't stand him. And there's all sorts of smoke and mirrors going on there. But Farage feels human. Whether he is human, he feels human. Corbyn, human. It's. But I do think they're going to need to move quickly, in a weird way, I feel a bit sorry for Labour because they're only going to be able to move the kind of tanker so quickly in the other direction and at such a speed. They can only do it you can't accelerate that too quickly. And my worry for Labour, so let's just let's park all Israel and say Labour change. Are they going to be able to do enough quickly? The British electorate, and I don't think it's a criticism of the British electorate. We've been in the doldrums for so long. I think they're going to want to see and feel things changing and quickly. They're going to want to feel something, whatever that is. So it'll be interesting to see how they manage that. I think I agree with the latter statement there, that the electorate will want to see real CHANGGEEE and soon. Farage heckled and party called racist at first speech as MP. He's already pushing for proportional representation. It does seem bizarre that the Reform Party get as many votes as the Liberal Democrats. They get 5 MPs and the Liberal Democrats get 71. I think it's easy to say we don't want PR if it represents opinions that we don't like. But I think in a weird way, I think you get more extremist opinions and more extremist politics the more people feel they aren't heard and they don't have representation. That doesn't mean that PR won't bring in more representation for opinions that you don't like. But I think that surely is the bravery of democracy, is it not? That you have to tackle and take on those opinions. Better to have representation than to have a skewed system that suits a certain few that potentially really radicalizes in a sort of political sense other groups that feel they're underrepresented. I do think PR has to come onto the agenda, proportional representation. We have to have electoral reform. We have to. This is funny. Today, all the furniture's coming out. It's brutal. The push to move PMs in and out. Here's a shot of, this is when Winston Churchill moved out after the 1945 Labour landslide. I wonder, you know what I was thinking? Do you think like Keir Starmer goes, I know there's a room to the right as you go in. I think Keir Starmer goes, do you think he goes in that room whilst all the removal people come in and take all Rishi's stuff out? Do you think Keir slept in the same bed that Rishi slept in the night before? Or do you think they've had cleaners in some way just to kind of sort it out? Not that I'm saying, not for dirtiness, but just kind of, make it spick and span for the incoming people. What's wrong?
No, I think so. I think there'll be a million people there. The milk's too frozen. You won't get a coffee.
And the cat is just sitting there going, "Oh, what's this lot? Who's this lot? What are they going to be like?"
No milk. What do you want? It's too frozen. I can't.
All right. I'll just have a double espresso, babe. It's all right, sweetie. Thank you very much. They'll get Rent-A-Kill in. So it is brutal, isn't it? I mean, I'm just imagining them. Keir Starmer's having his cabinet meeting. This would be a great meme, wouldn't it? They're all around the cabinet table. Keir's like, "Hey, we're in here, change." And everyone else is around. They go, "Yeah, that's me." All right. And whilst that's happening, you can hear boom, 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 boom. And it's the removal team in the hallway. Sorry, Mr. Starmer. It's Rishi's stuff. It's Rishi's Star Wars collection, kind of coming down the stairs. I do. You've got to personalise these things, haven't you, sometimes? So that's a bit brutal. Frisky Sky and Channel 4 theatrics leave the BBC looking a bit flat. I have to say, I went over to the BBC for election night coverage. I wanted to shoot myself in the head. It was so boring. It was so boring. I don't care what it takes. Have everyone wearing thongs and tweaking noses and threatening and suggesting that people have got crushes on people. Do it. Anything. I went to the BBC and I was scared by how bored it was. It was awful. So I stuck with Sky. Of course, who's going to be the Conservative leader? Okay, I don't think there are any really Conservative voters here. But who would you like to see? It's a pretty rum bunch, isn't it? We've got Priti Patel. Favourite is Kemi Badenoch. Is it Kemi Badenoch?
Oh, no.
Kemi Badenoch. She's favourite. Tom Tugendhat is second. I urge everyone, do not support Tom Tugendhat. Again, his support of Israel is just bone-crunchingly awful. As are all of the Tories, to be honest. Did you remember how we never got to the bottom of the trip that Priti Patel took to Israel? Do you remember? She was.
They wait long enough until people.
No, but she had to resign, didn't she? Because she did it without officially telling anyone. She went to Israel. No one got to the bottom of that, did they? So anyway, back to our candidates: Kemi Badenoch, Tom Tugendhat, Priti Patel, oh God, Suella Braverman, Robert Jenrick. Oh, Lord. MeToo wants it to be Jeremy Hunt. I think if I had to choose one, I think I'd want it to be Jeremy Hunt, but he said today he's out. He's not in the running. James Cleverly is another one, an outsider who could come in. Who of those would you like, Nat? Badenoch, Patel.
Oh,
prime Zionist, so don't be drawn in there. Suella Braverman.
Oh, my God.
It's a rum bunch.
No.
What do you think is going to happen? Do you think? Okay, here's a question for political ones amongst you. Are the Conservatives going to go more right to kind of eclipse Farage, or is Farage going to nick politicians from the Conservative Party? Because an interesting thing that could happen, Matthew Wright was talking about this too. There's talk that some Conservative MPs could defect to Reform. And like he said on the radio, I think you should have to have a by-election to do that. Imagine having voted for someone based on them being part of this party, and then they immediately go, "No, I'm going to go to." I don't think you should have that.
God,
You have to have a by-election. There's no.
Oh my God! Imagine if
Yeah.
you vote for them, and then they become your.
Exactly.
No.
I find all this walking across the floor of the House and everyone going, "Hey, we've got right old Tory on our." I find all that a bit weird. So will the Tories go right? Or will Reform go right? And what do you think, Mitra? Read the Labour Party. Will the Labour Party be mindful that essentially the majority of the country voted for combined Reform and Tories? So, is that going to water down? I mean, even Boris Johnson is using the analogy in his leader today. His win is wide, but the depth of his win is very shallow. Remember that. It could be wiped away quickly. There's your choices. Of course, Badenoch is the early favourite of bookies for battle for Tory crown. The Country Pumpkin personally thinks it's all going to shit regardless. Now Tories turn on sorry Sunak as civil war begins. I think Sunak's out. Thanks Sunak. Goodbye. I'm amazed he held his seat, didn't he? He held his seat. Just briefly, I wanted to pop this up. Israel to resume ceasefire talks after 7 killed in West Bank. I would have flipped that headline the other way round. 7 killed in the West Bank. with Israel continuing to pretend to resume ceasefire talks. It's really interesting that the idea, we're supposed to always receive the idea that ceasefire talks are ongoing and that there's a possibility of a solution as somehow a softening of the blow of 7-7 in the West Bank. We're not even getting the numbers on the West Bank. It's just awful. A few more serious ones and then we get to the light ones. I'm innocent, cries Lucy Letby after her 15th life sentence. Baby killer has coldly denied responsibility, says the judge. She was given another whole life order. She screamed, "I'm innocent." She called out as she was led from the dock, and after being handed a 15th whole life sentence. Obviously, we talked in the week about a number of people feel she's a scapegoat for failings in the NHS trust she was working for. I mean, with all these things, I just wonder whether there may be that might be happening as well as the awfulness of what she's done. I don't think there's any doubt that she's done what she's done. The Jay Slater story just gets more and more bizarre. Missing Jay fake web clip warning. Old video is clearly not the Tenerife teen. A sick video circulating online which falsely claims to show missing teen Jay Slater being beaten to death has sparked fury. Something has clearly gone wrong here. I mean, someone suggested earlier today that he may have found his way back into the country. I don't think he could have got back easily. Then there was the Rolex watch. So much speculation. So many, no answers. It's all very Me Too. People see through reform when their MPs with no experience start to screw up. That's the hope. And you think they will then move back to the Conservatives. Okay. Moving on to this chap. Oh, Joe, Sleepy Joe, who admitted in the week that he nearly fell asleep whilst doing the debate. I mean, again, curious. It's this kind of owning. I thought he did. There was that clip of him the day after the terrible catastrophe of the debate where he said, "I was having a bad day." When you're an American, when you put someone knocks you down, you gotta get back up. I thought, okay, well, he sounds vaguely more cogent and coherent than he did the night before. But to admit you nearly fell asleep is a little bit kind of fucking, ridiculous. Anyway, here we go. Biden, proud to be black woman in latest blooper. Sort of 4th of July, Independence Day celebrations. Apparently he turned up and he went ho, ho, ho. Obviously conflating Independence Day, public holiday, with Father Christmas being Christmas. And then he went on to say, what have we got here? He referred to himself as a black woman. And what's his exact line? He said something along the lines of, "By the way, I'm proud to be, as I said, the first vice president, first black woman to serve with a black president." Now, you look at the word salad that's come out and you think, I can see what he was going for. And this is a really important point. He obviously doesn't think he's a black woman, but in his word salad, which just minced up everything, you can see and feel what he was striving for. He's proud of Kamala Harris, black woman. He's the president. He's got all the right words. He's just got them all in the wrong order. And I just think, however much one can sort of, give him a pass for that, he's the president of the free world. All the words in the wrong order, I don't think is a good thing. And yes, you're right, Reese. He has done this ABC interview. He recently said to ABC journalists that the Lord Almighty would have to. Has the whole interview gone out? Are there any other kind of moments from it that are a cause for concern, or is it being considered a win? Any American followers here who've seen it's syndicated who can't access it here? Yeah, the Lord Almighty. He says the Lord. I did see. He said the Lord Almighty would have to stop me, and then he says, but the Lord Almighty doesn't exist, or something. He managed to kind of decimate the religious vote in his I don't know. He was talking too fast. It's gone out. It's on the it is on YouTube. Okay, well, clearly he must have dodged a bit of a bullet there. I think I said the other day I was once what's this? Oh no, sorry, I'll get to that in a moment. Glasgow Allowed, looks like Girls Allowed Festival 2025 Glastonbury. Already looking forward to the headline acts. Girls Allowed. Any Girls Allowed fans here? I mean, before I pass judgment on that, I think I've shared many times being absolutely off my tits in a totally irresponsible and illegal fashion at some festival a couple of years before I met Nads, screaming with male friends, going, "Come on, the Sugar Babes are on somewhere or other." We'd just seen Coldplay, we'd seen Faithless, we'd seen someone else, and then just suddenly, you get these moments at festivals where suddenly it's like, if you don't get to this place to see this thing. And I just remember the Sugar Babes word coming out of my mouth. I was like, what? More rock, please, Elaine Denning. Well, yeah, Glaston's has come in for that, hasn't it? They've criticised it, saying it's all pop, no rock. So that's for next year. But I think I said to you guys before, I spent a very brief moment with Noel Gallagher in a lift. My God, he was a very glum chap. I mean, don't look back in anger. He's looking back in deep depression. Just stop crying your hearts out, he says. Oasis rocker Noel Gallagher's plea to virtue signalling stars of Glasgow. Now, at first I thought, oh, you miserable old git. But I bet for some people this resonates. He basically he goes on to say, what was it he said? Virtual signalling. It's like, play your fucking tunes and get off. Donate all your money to the cause and stop yapping about it. He's like, it's getting a bit woke now and a bit preachy and virtue signaling. I don't like it in music. Little fucking idiots waving flags around and making political statements. I thought the Banksy boat was great. I disagree with him. I mean, I think I don't like it when these kind of celebs or these stars or, oh, brilliant, Nessie, I'm so pleased you got your card. When they do it as a kind of, they're paying lip service. I love the way Dua Lipa has not only talked about it on stage, but she's in her life said, I don't care what the fucking sacrifice or the cost could be. Boom, 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 I'm going to carry on. If it's just a moment on stage to kind of keep people happy, shut the fuck up. But I do actually think music is a really important field for just enjoying music and for sharing and spreading political messages. I really do. It's interesting how you two, who are huge humanitarians, aren't they? Huge humanitarian. I mean, massive. I mean, huge. Haven't said a fucking thing, have they, really, about Gaza? Oh, that's Noel. Wizard. AI Judy Garland narrates your audiobooks. How do you feel about this? Does it matter? More than half a century since she died, but now you can have Judy Garland narrating your audiobooks. How do you feel about listening to something read by someone who's dead? It's not their voice, but AI have recreated it. Does it matter? Is it not? For me, it does. For me, does it matter? It doesn't keep me up at night. But I'm like, what's the point? Why? Why make it Judy Garland? Well, though, but then, you could argue it's just telling the Wizard of Oz. So why not have Judy Garland? Is it not like, I've never really understood the ABBA hologram thing. It's like, they're not there. I really want someone to explain to me how that works. I don't get it. Why not just have a kind of ABBA? I understand, for example, I really understand the ABBA experience. Where you go for the meal and everyone's dancing, they act out. I get that. But I don't understand the hologram thing. You want David Niven ones. Oh yeah, that would be good. Donna, call 999 if you hate kebab. We're getting into the meaty stuff now. See what I did there? This is someone, a 999 caller, blasted by police for calling them to complain about his pork kebab. How drunk was this person, hey? Cops released, I haven't found the audio yet, but cops released an audio recording of a late night caller demanding, you hear him on tape saying, they're having a go at me as I'm not paying for the food. A spokesman for North Wales Police saying, not being happy with the food you've ordered is not a reason to call. What's curious about that is they're having a go at me as I'm not paying for the food. So he'd phone 999 to complain about a kebab. I want to get deep on this just for a minute. And yet he was admitting that he wasn't paying for his food. So he was really phoning the police and telling them that he was breaking the law. Any chess fans in the room? Anyone like? I know Lee Peart is a huge chess fan. He's a great chess player, actually, Lee. I want to play him, but I'm worried he's going to beat me into a pulp. Oh, that's nice. Thanks, Ned. Let's been a lot of years since I went to an outdoor concert. It might have been 2014 or 2012, and I'm glad I turned up, even though I was very, very anxious. I saw Russell Watson perform, Julie the Singing Nutcase. Who's Russell Watson? Sounds nice. Reese, when I used to go out loads, I would always chuckle at people who would be ravenous for kebabs and then proceed to drop it all on the ground after getting it. The only thing that I used to get excited about with kebabs when I was a student was back in the day, I don't know if you still get them, you used to be able to get something called a rum baba. Notice the alcoholic. I was drawn to anything that had fucking alcohol in it, even if it was like not real alcohol. Any chess fans? Chess? I like chess, but I'm not very good at lane denning. Okay, stop checking out my queen, mate. Get it? One of the world's top chess set makers has been accused of giving. Oh, I haven't got the bloody image of giving its sexy queen a blokey look. Basically, their queen looks like a king. I've always got a little bit confused about the queens and the kings, though. There's always been a little bit of beef. Plan to build new hospital just for orphaned otters. Oh, guys, who likes an otter? I love otters. I think what I like about otters, I like pandas too. Maddie always shows me when we do funny shit that we had a panda compilation. I think pandas, don't get me wrong, I believe in the preservation of pandas. I think pandas, they would be extinct if we didn't look after them in captivity. I think pandas genetically have said, we've had enough. We don't want to be rescued or saved, which is why they do ridiculous things in captivity. They just run around, they play, and they're not very good at landing on swings and things like that. But otters, I think the thing I love about an otter is I should have got you a photo of an otter, sorry, rather than this, but I'll just quickly say it. They're so beautiful. They have rubbery fingers. I didn't say lovely. I said rubbery fingers, and they play with pebbles. But in the switch of an eye, in the flash of a bulb, in the flick of a switch, their teeth are so sharp they could take your finger off. I love that knife edge. There's a knife edge to them, which I love. That's Potty. Bedpan collection runs out of space. Mary 77 has 163 commodes. Blimey, Mary. I wonder if it smells. She must have washed them all. A collector with Europe's biggest stash of bedpans. What a curious sort of accomplishment. I have the biggest collection of bedpans. A bedpan is something you used to put. Is a bedpan something you used to put under the? It's a toilet, isn't it? It's not. Do you remember they used to put like a pan of hot water to warm your bed, and then they pull it out? These are bedpans, which of course back in the day these were great for people, and I think they have similarly sophisticated things for people who can't leave the bed. But anyway, yeah. So she's had to get rid of them because she's run out of space. It's gone down the Swanee. Oh, bless her. She loves her bedpans. Selfish blokes must do better. And look at that tiny little sentence at the bottom. Men orgasm 30% more often. Sorry if you're having breakfast. I should have given a pre-warning on the word orgasm. It's a hard word to just throw out without warning. One needs to, you need a bit of foreplay. So here we go. We're going to be talking about orgasm. So selfish blokes must do better. Men orgasm 30% more often than men. Do you agree? And the sexual climax gender gap was true at every age from 18 to 100. Experts say it shows blokes are not clued up on how to pleasure their partners and simply may not care. Selfish bastards. I feel a podcast coming on. Do check out our podcast this week. The whole of Croydon is still recovering from the number of sexual partners Nadji's had. Shocking. This is a great story. Win back your ex for $500 an hour. This is in the world pages of the Times. Joanna was in a pretty dire predicament, it says here. Her husband of 14 years had blindsided her and told her their marriage was over. There is an increase in services, online services, coaches, relationship coaches, of trying to get your exes back. So this woman here has paid $4,600 for 8 sessions with him. Now, shoot me down for being stupid, but it's all well and good. You might be able to throw all sorts of money at a therapist to work out how you could have been better in the relationship. Isn't the kind of elephant not in the room the fact that if your ex isn't there, you're not going to get anywhere, are you? You can't go to your ex and go, by the way, I've had 8 sessions with this guy, and this guy that they're talking about here he's in Nashville, Tennessee. I've spoken to this guy in Nashville, Tennessee, and he says, sweetie, that actually if I'd done this and if I'd gone through this, It's not going to change anything when you phone your ex up and he is with your best friend. Retro cameras back in frame for Gen Zers. Yeah, all the kids want these. All the kids want disposable cameras that you have to process the film. They all want analog. Do you have analog? Anyone here? Polaroids even. Celebrities such as Brooklyn Beckham, there he is, not looking very happy. Zendaya, they've shown off their love of vintage cameras. I do love a vintage camera. I love an old-fashioned film, SLR camera, really nice. Hear the sound of it. You go, chikunk, you go, chikunk. I love all that shit. It's great. But also, there's even a nostalgia now for old digital cameras that basically, Kiki's got a really shitty one. She said, you shake it and it sounds like it's rattling. I said, don't shake it. Did you shake it? Was it rattling at first? But anyway, you can get these little digital cameras that take photos like digital cameras of the 80s, i.e. badly. They're all after it. They're Dawn Decker, you collect them. Oh, that's nice. Your late dad had loads of old ones. Julie the Singing Nutcase. They're a nice thing, aren't they? I do. They're beautiful objets. Object art. This story has bounced up again. We've seen it before. Unexpected anger in the Baggin area. Don't look back in anger. Heard you say. Top 20 annoyances. We talked about it before, but clearly the news is in a recycle mode. Waiting for your computer to unfreeze. That's annoying. Just turn it off. Time taken for a web page to load on poor Wi-Fi. Do you remember that old-fashioned sound? I read a story somewhere that Japan have finally outlawed floppy disks. What do you do if you find a floppy disk? Where do you put it? Did anyone else find it funny that floppy disks were never floppy? What's that all about? Shake it like a Polaroid picture. Shake, shake, shake it, shake, shake, shake. You know what they're referring to there, though, don't you, Reese? Don't ever shake it like a Polaroid picture when you're out in public. That's all I'm saying to you. Katy Perry celebrating Independence Day. Fabulosity. Oh, a bear, for those of you listening, you don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I've gone from Katy Perry to a grizzly, is it a grizzly? Yeah. A brown bear about to take a bite from a salmon's head. Fucking hell. Frightening. Then we've got this zebra having a right old laugh. He's going, reform. You having a laugh? That's a Blackpool zebra. I mean, obviously, zebras don't come from Blackpool, but that zebra lives in Blackpool in the zoo. I've been to Blackpool Zoo. And look, there you go. I'm utterly relaxed. Oh, hi. Hi there. How you doing? Oh, my God. I remember we used to take the girls to Battersea Park's little zoo, and they have little otters there, and they would put their little fingers through, and you'd feel their fingertips. Oh, anyway, on that note, guys, 1 o'clock in an hour. The Curly Cooks has an American flavour. Check it out. That's fun. That'll be landing at 1. Enjoy. Share your comments. Share your thoughts. Tell us what your favourite American candy is. We're not happy with America's policy in Israel, but we know there are many Americans who are also not happy, just as there are many Israelis who aren't happy with Netanyahu's government. It's a broad church somewhere. Okay, guys. Remember, Joe Biden isn't a black woman, just in case you were wondering. All right, have a good day.